It all started when I forgot to close the kitchen door. I like to think I am a pretty cautious person, so upon arriving home after work and discovering the door had been open the whole day, it made me gasp audibly. I did a quick sweep through the house to be sure the open door wasn't a consequence of a break-in, but at first glance it was clear that there wasn't anything gone from the house. No break-in meant that I myself was responsible for this negligent mistake, and I don't know if this made me feel better or worse. I quickly closed the door and made a mental note to check the house even more carefully every morning before I leave for work, since obviously I wasn't paying enough attention. Fast forward to a week later. It took me a few days to shake the bad feeling from leaving the kitchen door open, but I was starting to put it behind me. Until, that is, I forgot to lock the front door. I always lock the front door. Always. Both locks, and even when I only go out for some grocery shopping. I felt the ground fall beneath me when I came home from work in the evening and discovered the door had been unlocked all day. From the looks of it, no one had tried to come in, but still, just the thought of it made me break out in a sweat. Why did I forget this? I tried to dig in my mind for the exact moment when I left the house that morning, but it was all so vague. Try remembering the moment you brushed your teeth or put on your socks. It's probably hardly even there in your memory. It all happened so automatically. Why would your mind even take the trouble of memorizing it? I felt shaken and uneasy about the front door incident all weekend following it. I always am so careful before leaving the house. It's not like I felt any different the past few days that made me forget these important proceedings. A clouded mind can cause a messy life, of course, but my mind can mostly be described as crystal clear. I have my shit in order. I have my routine, and I can trust it. Or at least, I could. I decided no more of this doubtful behaviour. I just have to try harder to keep things in order. With this realisation, I could relax a bit more and shake off the uneasy feeling once again. Unfortunately, I settled in my confusion too early and found myself not wearing any socks to work a few days later. And no, I wasn't wearing sandals. I was wearing my Dr. Martin boots, and anyone who owns these boots knows you don't want to wear these without socks. Because, well, pain and blisters and all that. I didn't even realise until halfway into my workday and my feet began to ache pretty badly. I excused myself to the bathroom and took off my shoes to discover blood all over my feet from the wounds that originated in the past hours. This is getting crazy, I thought to myself. How the hell could I have forgotten to put on socks? I hate not wearing socks in my boots. Hell, I have specific kinds of socks just for wearing in my Dr. Martens, because otherwise I get too uneasy during the day. And now I forget to put on socks at all? I felt panic rising. My face went red and I suddenly felt extremely warm. If I didn't calm down, I might have a panic attack, so I quickly splashed water on my face and took some deep, long breaths. I calmed down a bit, felt my heart rate get lower and lower until I was reasonably calm. Being calm made me realise the pain in my feet again, and I decided I couldn't stay a minute longer at work. I had to go home, my safe and comfortable home. I told my manager I was ill, which she immediately believed when she saw my flustered face. Just when I thought my day couldn't get any worse, you guessed it, it did. Much worse. I come home to find a new uncomfortable discovery, a result of my continuing lack of order and control in my life. The thing I fear the most, the thing I try to prevent daily. My biggest fear since moving out and living on my own. It happened. I forgot to turn off my hair straightener. Nothing creeps me out more than the thought in my head, the doubt of forgetting to unplug the hair straightener and letting it heat up all day, making marks on my dresser or, worse, starting a fire in my home, damaging and destroying everything I have and leaving it in ashes. I have had occasions where the thought of fire in my house enter my mind during meetings at work and ending in me not being able to focus anymore. The only thought in my mind being to try and remember the exact moment I unplugged the straightener. Worrying about it all day and then coming home to find out I unplugged the straightener like a good girl, and it would wear me out and annoy me to bits. So I made a deal with myself, to make sure I wouldn't have to doubt myself like that anymore. Every time I put away the straightener, I would say out loud, "The straightener is unplugged and put away." This way, when the doubt would hit me later in the day, I could easily go back to the memory of me telling myself I put the straightener away and calm down again. Well, long story short, I guess I forgot to talk to myself today, and ta-da! Worst nightmare evolved into real life. Or kind of, I guess. Looking back, the results of leaving the hair straightener on all day hadn't been as bad as I had always feared. Yes, the house smelled like molten plastic and it stung my eyes, but the only damage was a smoulder on my dresser and a body lotion that was standing next to it. Oh, and the straightener itself was practically ruined, of course. It was a weird realization, having your worst nightmare come true, only to discover it wasn't so bad as you'd feared. So, the first minutes I felt some kind of relief. A burden seemed to have left my body. I put the straighteners on the bathroom tiles to let them cool down before I would throw it out and clean the dresser as good as possible. Checking the damage on the thing, I picked up the straighteners a few hours later, and my eye fell on the plug cord. It was almost completely burnt. Almost. Just a few more inches and the smouldering inside would have reached the plug. The plug that was inside the wall socket. The wall socket on the wall of my house. My house, in flames, burning, everything gone. The panic rose again when I realized I indeed had been minutes away from danger, minutes away from my biggest nightmare. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't! My heart was pounding, sweat on my back. Oh yes, it was a full-on panic attack this time. Not knowing what to do, how to handle this situation, I only saw one solution. I had to call my dad. If he was startled by the panicky phone call, he didn't show it, and he told me he was on his way. He was at my house in 30 minutes. This made me calm down a bit in advance, and I went down to sit on the couch and wait for his arrival. Oh, I even think I hear his car coming up the driveway. I see him exiting the car now, and no way, he's smoking again? He can expect a lecture about this after he calmed me down. He quit over a year ago. Well, no reason to not let him in the house, even for that. So I'll get up and let him in. Wait. What do I smell? It smells like... gas? No way, I always turn the gas off. Where's it coming from? Well, good thing my dad is here. He can check it out as well.